Hello, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Diana Smedley of Lancaster Local Provisions, and today I'm making a kale pesto pizza. All right, let's get started. So, just to start off the bat, I have these wonderful par-cooked pizza crusts from Tom's Bread here in Lancaster. If you don't have these, you can make your own pizza dough at home. You can use any sort of like flatbread or naan bread. But I'm using these pizza crusts here, and I've defrosted them. I like to, unless it's like a raw dough, since they've been par-cooked, I let them defrost before I'm starting to make my pizza. So let's make our kale pesto. I have Tuscan kale here, or it's known as dinosaur kale, because it sort of looks like a dinosaur. It probably looks like the most scary or most intense kale, but it's actually the most tender and the sweetest variety of kale. So don't be afraid of Tuscan kale. Now, normally with kale, I would use my hands to take the leaves off, but it's hard to do that with the Tuscan variety. So I'm just gonna cut my stem out. See how I fold the leaves together? And I'll rip them. So I sort of fold the leaves like this, and then we're just going to cut our stem out. And I'm gonna use about half of a bunch. I actually want to have some for my salad tomorrow, so I'm not going to make a full batch of pesto. So I have 2 sprigs of spring garlic in here. If you don't have spring garlic or green garlic, you can just use garlic cloves. I would put maybe 3 or 4 in here. And I'm going to put a little bit of glug of my favorite sunflower oil, of course, and a pinch of Herbs de Provence. You don't have to add any herbs if you don't want. Really, a pesto can be your own making. It can be whatever you want it to be. And I'm just going to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Since we are putting this on a pizza with quite a lot of cheese, I don't want to over salt it. So, where's my lid? Here's my lid. You can use like an immersion blender too, but I think when making pesto, the food processor is the way to go. So I'm just going to start by pulsing. Now everything's sort of gotten chopped up, and now we can start really making our yummy, yummy pesto into a sauce. It smells so good. You can, pre-cook the kale if you want, but I like the fresh taste of the fresh kale. I'm gonna let it run. There we go. Beautiful. Do you see how it's sort of becoming a pesto consistency? Gorgeous. Okay, I'm actually going to put a dash of bitter lemon vinegar in here. If you don't have lemon vinegar, just put a splash of either lemon juice or lime juice, just something to brighten it up. It looks pretty good. I'm just going to smooth the sides down. Oh, it's delicious. I'm going to put a little bit more pepper. Now, I'm keeping this pure, no dairy. Usually, I add a little bit of cheese at this stage to make it really creamy, but because I don't want that for the pizza, I'm not. But if you're making just a kale pesto, I would put in a little bit of ricotta or goat cheese or cream cheese in there. It will make it a slightly lighter consistency, and it will make it just a little bit more creamy. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to assemble the pizza. I love pizza nights. I mean, for me, as a kid, we would always do pizza together as a family once a week, and I would make like face pizzas. Always been an artist. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on the bottom of my pizza crust. If you're using like fresh dough, don't do this. You don't have to do this, but because mine is pre-cooked. And if you are using a pizza stone or some sort of baking steel or bricks or something, have them in the oven cold and then preheat the oven, or else things will crack and you'll be very sad because your pizza stone is cracked. Oh, I need some spoons. first layer is gonna be our pesto. So this is acting as our sauce. You could use a red sauce too if you want, but I'm in the sort of spring green pizza mode. So this is the trick that I've always done, is I put sort of my spoonful in the center, and then you sort of use your spoon to get it where you want it to be. And wherever you stop your pesto or your sauce or your filling is where you're going to have your crust. Now, if I used a whole bunch of kale, I could make 2 pizzas. I mean, I could still make a very light pesto pizza with this other side. Okay, that looks great. Pretty even. You can see that. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now I have grated mozzarella. This is a, oh gosh, what is the name of the actual cheese? It's called like Cinderella, but like mozzarella is how they spell it on the package. But it's a raw milk cheese, and it's not stored in brine, so it doesn't have too much moisture. I like a balance of cheeses on my pizza. You don't want to put too many wet cheeses, or then you're gonna have a really soggy pizza. This is about 4 ounces, so half a block of cheese if you're at home. So, or you could just, get shredded mozzarella, whatever is your fancy. Now I'm gonna take my delicious organic ricotta, and I'm just gonna put dollops around the pizza. You know what, I'm gonna cut this dollop in half because I want it to melt and get some sort of browning on it. And I love cheese, so let's just put a little bit more on. All right. This looks so good. Look at that. I love it. So I'm going to pop this in my 450-degree oven for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna check it at 8 and see how it is. It'll be done when the crust is crispy and my cheese is sort of bubbling. So depending on your oven at home, it'll mean how long you're cooking your pizza for. So let me pop this in the oven and we'll let it cook for 10 minutes. All right, so my kale pesto pizza is out of the oven. It looks gorgeous. I might have gone a little overboard with my pesto. I was just getting really excited about it, but it's okay. It is nice and crisp and my cheese is melted. Hear that sound? That's the sound of crispy crust. Gabriel would be so proud. And then of course I just have my gooey cheese on top. I love it. This is gonna be so delicious. I cannot wait to share with some people. So again, you just make the pesto however you want. Make it as garlicky or not garlicky as you want. You can put some basil in your pesto if that's what you're into. I just like doing different things with the kale that we have in our box. And then of course, switch up the cheeses. Do a goat cheese. Do, any type of your favorite cheeses. We have some really wonderful vegan cheeses in the marketplace. So again, I'm Chef Diana Smedley from Lancaster Local Provisions. You can always check out recipes at chefdianaskitchen.com, and you can shop local ingredients here in Lancaster County at lancasterlocalprovisions.com. So again, this is my kale pesto pizza for the spring, and happy cooking.